Oh, hi there. It's the middle of the night and I'm kind of tired, so I'll make this video a little quicker than I've made the other ones. Should only be a few minutes long, but I wanted to talk about the anti-racism mechanism. It's a social mechanism that prevents any kind of dialogue and a different type of thinking. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, well, racism is wrong, therefore you're wrong, therefore you don't have an opinion, therefore no one's going to listen to you. But the thing is, they've taken it too far. I mean, there's a difference between saying, why did the black man cross the street? Because there's a KFC there. But me saying that doesn't put me in league with, all those white guys or any race, because there are other races that don't like black people either, like the Latinos and things like that. I won't get into it because I don't know it so well. But it doesn't put me in league with the horrible things that they may have done or have done, or whatever. It doesn't. I made a simple little joke. If you can't handle a joke, then you're on edge. You're wound up too tight. You're obviously angry, and if it doesn't take much to push your buttons, you don't have that sense of control to just laugh it off or ignore it, or go, doesn't affect me, it doesn't faze me. Then I think more or less you're the one with the problem. Words, sometimes they can be more hurtful than other times, but in the end, it's not the same thing as some truly racist acts that can happen to any race. I mean, a lot of people insult white people all the time. They all call us white trash and stupid things like that. They got shows dedicated towards the insulting of white people. One of the more famous ones is Jerry Springer, who, by the way, is Jewish. Surprise, surprise. So what I'm getting at is you can't take things too seriously. I can handle jokes that are geared against white people, and they look at our history or blah 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 blah. Like, I can handle a joke, like, for example, if someone says, would you like some milk in your coffee? And you go, no, I like it dark. And they go, oh, white enough already, eh? It's just harmless play. It's kind of funny, but it's not quite the same thing as walking down the street and then a gang of thugs, and like I said, they could be any race of thugs, just beat you up because you're that particular color. You ain't done nothing wrong, ain't done nothing to nobody. Maybe you're a nice guy too. Then that is completely different from making a harmless joke. And I think it should be more acceptable in modern society to go, hey man, we're a little racist, but that's okay. It's, I don't mean any real harm from it. Like, it's just a harmless joke. If anything, it'll strengthen your character. You go, yeah, that's funny, hey man. But then again, there are some downright mean jokes. Yeah. I have heard some mean ones. I'm personally not offended by them because, whatever, it might apply to some white people, but it doesn't necessarily apply to me. And it's mostly done by people who don't actually know me. So, I take things into consideration when there are reasons to possibly be upset, to be annoyed, or downright angry. But words are just words, and some people can't handle them. And particularly, there are a lot of black people who cannot handle a white person using the N-word in front of them. In case you didn't know, that ain't the black man's word. The black man didn't invent it. A white man did. Not an English-speaking white man. Because the N-word is just a corruption of the word black from, I forget what it is. I think the Spanish? Something like that, anyway. So, the thing is, the black man did not invent that word. It's not their word, okay? They may argue differently, but that's because of a pre-established racism, and a lot of those black guys are violent anyway. That's not me being judgmental or throwing accusations or just coming up with down-out lies. But I'm saying, not particularly where I live. For the most part, where I live in Vancouver, things they're relatively peaceful. We do have our sketchy areas, of course, like everyone everywhere does. But there are plenty of areas where you can walk down the street at any time of the day or night, and nothing will happen to you. I know this because I've done it myself plenty of times. I can walk down the street in most places, and I have no fear of anything. Doesn't mean I'm not, taking special care by looking around, the one in a million chance that perhaps there is some people out there that just are looking for trouble. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen, but I'm a flamboyant guy. I wear a Donald Trump hat. I wear a Chicago Blackhawks jersey in Vancouver. And I have had people jokingly go, you're in Vancouver, right? Why are you wearing a Chicago Blackhawks jersey? And I go, that's because you're ignorant. I'm a fan of the National Hockey League. Although the Canucks are my favorite team, I like the National Hockey League, which means I like other teams too. I enjoy the sport as a whole. Anyway, that's getting off topic. What I'm getting at is people just need to mellow out, accept that there is a moderate amount of racism. They can't just go in blindly thinking that all racism needs to be stomped out immediately. You can't say or do anything that makes another race feel insulted or demeaned or anything like that. A harmless joke is a harmless joke, okay? And I think our society would be better if we just accepted that different races are going to have people that are a little bit racist. And there's no harm in that. And I think there's no harm in that because if you're one of these people who can't stand anything, even the smallest joke, and a lot of them are social justice white people, social justice warriors, as they would say, who stamp out any form, no matter how small, of racism, they are still prejudiced. Their prejudice has just shifted because they want to be politically correct. They want to demonize people that are racist. And in fact, a lot of those people focus their attention on the white racism of the past. And that doesn't apply to most white people. White people do their job. Maybe they go downtown and have a beer in a bar, watch a little bit of sports, do this or that. And, they live peaceful lives. How does racism from the past apply to them? Okay, sure, they've reaped some of the benefits from that through the exploitation of other races committed by whites from earlier generations. But that's still not their fault. It isn't. They didn't do it. And no matter what your ideology is, You can't blame somebody who didn't do something for something that somebody else did. Okay? Like I said, if we just, all the races that live in our society come to an understanding that this country, which the white man stole, is governed by a white society, and can come to terms with that, then there's no reason we can't all get along. I know it's going to be a hard pill for some people to swallow, because they go, you did bad things in the past, people who looked like you did bad things in the past, and therefore, if I even hear one tiny joke, immediately my brain's going to think of all the bad things that white people have done, and inadvertently I'm going to blame you for everything bad that a white person has done. And that isn't fair to anybody. Not to mention, I don't think there's a race in the world that has totally clean hands. I mean, arguably, even the isolated tribes in the Amazon who have no human contact outside of their tribe, and if you go near them, they fire arrows at you and things like that. Isn't that racist too? Like, if you're gonna go kill people by being in your territory, then it's just racism in a different form. Look, what I'm getting at is I can be friends of a person of any color, from any nationality. It's just when we start talking about politics, ideology, the separation between state and religion, the country I live in, and all that, if they have their beliefs that they've brought over from other countries about us, then that's where the problem begins. I ain't got a problem with someone saying, a slightly racist joke against whites. I think that should be more commonplace, that people can say that. In a way, it teaches people to be more relaxed about things. They don't become... Well, the word I want to use is reactionary, but when I've looked it up on the dictionary, it doesn't actually mean what I think it does. When I think reactionary means you overreact to a certain situation. But you look it up on Google and it'll say it means far right-wing stuff, and I don't know. Some words mean different things to different people, okay? And my point is, I think we can all get along, but we just gotta mellow out and try to understand things from a grander point of view, and try not to be prejudiced. Not shifting your prejudice into a different form, because that's not beneficial. You're still being it's not about right and wrong with you. It's about you having a prejudice. So I think little jokes here and there. Maybe you go tell a white person, oh, that plasma TV, I can get you 15% off on it. And then when the rich Chinese man comes along, you go, that's the price. Okay, maybe that's a little mean, but don't even think for a second that they don't pull that kind of stuff on us. If you don't think they do, you're naive. Go ahead, be naive. Then you have no right to be making decisions. In theory, There's a lot of things about the world I don't know, and I don't have a right to make decisions, but I have a right to cast my opinion and beliefs in a format such as YouTube, where people could possibly view it, whether they agree with me, disagree with me, want to ignore me, so far as to even take down my video or whatever. It's all it's all just, it's a lot simpler than people make it out to be. Make things all complicated and people don't understand where their roots lie and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to quickly make this video. Now, I'll see you guys later.